Why are social dynamics so weird during high school or formative years? Like, for example, why is it so hard for males specifically to talk to females? Is there anything that explains this? Imagine this. It's a Sunday night in your living room. A cozy blanket warms you up as you fall asleep to a movie. Picture any high school movie you watched recently. And don't worry, this will make sense soon. Take a look at the characters, the social dynamics, and you're going to notice one thing in common. Most people are going to be some sort of stereotype or role. Humans naturally classify people into in-groups and out-groups, which is us and everyone else. You might notice how often people strive to be someone else or avoid looking bad. Nobody really wants to look like a weirdo, annoying nerd, narcissist, etc. Let's go back to your living room. Your alarm blasts into your ears. Quickly, you get your shoes on, grab your backpack, and make sure you didn't forget your lunch. 46 minutes later, you step out of the school bus. You ever feel like everyone is watching you? Well, this is a common feeling, and when you combine it with the fact that humans naturally compare themselves to specific stereotypes, it explains partially why so many people obsess over how they appear to others. For this topic specifically, a lot of males are too afraid to talk to girls because it may make them look like a nerd. If they fail, maybe they'll look like a creep, or they'll just look socially awkward, which is again not good for how they're perceived. It feels much safer to just do nothing. But wait, that can't explain it by itself. There has to be more to it than that. I want you to take a look at this quote, and by the time you finish this part of the video, it'll make a lot of sense. You become unhappy when reality falls below expectations. The Looks Maxing community is a cherry pick, but also a really good example of how people set an expectation of who you need to be. Now, it's human nature to want a predictable set of criteria for an outcome. If you want something, you want a predictable way to get that thing. But there are cases where it becomes unreasonable. For example, a lot of people that believe if you look average, you're cooked, which is just setting a hard limit in an otherwise variable environment. Since it's often males who initiate conversation, relationships, etc. with girls, it feels safer to have a checklist or clear path to get an outcome. Kind of like a game, to be honest. But the Looks Maxing community is also a good example of what happens if you set up criteria that doesn't truly matter. Suddenly, your friend taps your shoulders. He encourages you to watch as he talks to someone. You sit there and decide to analyze it. Overall, you conclude that his phrasing was pretty suboptimal. His speech could have more emotion and immersion, and he could do better next time. But that's the problem. Sometimes social interaction in general is framed as a win or lose game. Now, it's not bad to look at things from a logical or game perspective, but you can take it too far to the point you can borderline fake your personality just to be optimal. And if you're in a situation where you view talking to girls as a win-lose situation, you're feeding into all the things I explained earlier. Losing can feel like a nuke to your social reputation, which causes a predictable fear of failure in a variable situation. Now, this is a shorter video than I expected, but I will end with one last thing to say. Being aware of concepts in human psychology already fights half the problem in most cases. If you have an irrational or emotional thought, understanding it can really help you sort it out. Anyways, I strongly encourage you to research this deeper since a 4-minute video really can't go much in depth. But if you want me to make a video about something specific, just know I read all the comments. Anyways, bye guys, subscribe.